You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Howdy, everyone, and welcome to the 11th episode of the 2025 DragonCon Report. I'm your host, Mike Gordon, and I'm pleased to introduce you to the rest of our station crew. Sadly, Jen is unavailable to join us this evening, but we do have Channing with us. Woohoo!
Still here. Sorry, folks. Jen steps away. I'm still here. You're stuck with me.
Yeah. Well, as we mentioned before the show, I mean, you and I were trying really hard to get the Mongoose to come in and be the third person here, but his schedule is so
his travel
swamped,
schedule,
right?
Yeah, I mean, he's training. He really wants to make an appearance in DCW next year, so he's been training and getting pumped.
So yes, we certainly wish Jen well, and we will go on the best we can now because I'm at the console here, the production end of the console. Things might be a little bit bare bones and all of that. So I do apologize in advance for the lack of frills, if you will. But we're gonna have a great episode tonight. We got a little bit of news, just not much, but a little bit. And then in this episode, we're going to talk all about the cults. So we have some fine folks joining us in a bit. We will introduce them in a little bit. But first, let's get some business out of the way.
Yes.
We are a proud member of the ESO Network here at the DragonCon Report. On the ESOnetwork.com page, there's a direct link to our TeePublic store filled with all kinds of cool swag, including a very cool design for the DragonCon Report podcast. The ESO Network also has a Patreon page where supporters can access we usually have the reading of the month's DragonCon guest announcements. Obviously, that's not going to happen this month. So we're trying to think of some other content to give you guys for the Patreon, but we do really appreciate all patrons for your support. We love you guys, and all the past readings that we've done. And, if you ever want to just, sit at home and need an excuse to drink, we've got the past episodes of the announcements that we've butchered as well. All the names that we butchered, all those are on file. So in addition to this video stream that you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, our audio version of the show is still available through all the usual places. You can always access our past episodes over the last 14 years at DragonConReport.com. However you access our show, please like, subscribe, and share. We really do appreciate you. And you can leave us direct feedback or comment on the show. Email us at feedback@DragonConReport.com. You can also reach out to us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot as well. So whatnot. That's the new social media trend that all the kids are doing, right?
There you go. It's gonna be bigger than TikTok and MySpace combined. Yeah.
All right. So as far as news goes, not a lot. Of course, DragonCon 2026 is happening September 3rd through the 7th. 5-day memberships are currently available at $125. That is a bargain, folks. Get them while they're this price for sure. This will be the 40th anniversary of the 40th DragonCon on an October 2nd, 1987. The very first DragonCon took place at the Paramount Plaza Hotel, and they're going to plan they're planning the 40th event, and they unveiled a new logo, which was pretty cool to see. I have a logo here. I'm going to try to show it to everybody. So we'll see how this goes.
Oops, almost there.
Did you? Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, we are the new logo, folks.
This is it's not quite that's about as good as I can get it here. Wait a minute, let me try. Nope, that's just not working. if Jen is not listening somewhere, she is laughing. So that's a glimpse, if you will, of the new logo. So
now I do have a question.
Yes.
If this is DragonCon's 40th anniversary,
what is
DragonCon going to do for its midlife crisis? It's going to grow a ponytail, buy a Corvette, date a 20-year-old conference. Like, I'm really curious to know what a conference does for its midlife crisis.
I think we'll find out. I mean,
Yeah.
that's we're all going to be on pins and needles finding out what they're going to do. I mean, it's been a drinking age. We know this for a while.
Yes. 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 Yeah. That much we know. Yes.
So, but yeah, I think it's going to be time for, DragonCon to, get the colonoscopy. Uh, it's
Almost lost it on that one.
So, yeah, 40 years. And I've been to a little over 30 of them. As I pointed out before, my first one was in 94. So, yeah, I haven't been to all of them. But we've got some exciting stuff, too, because as the 40th anniversary of DragonCon comes up, then we are going to be doing some special programming in relation to that. And in fact, today's topic about cults is kind of part of that as well. So although there haven't been 40 years of cults, I don't think so. We'll find out when we talk about it. But
Exactly.
the other news is the Hotel Hunger Games have begun, and I dare say they're about over. They happen that
Yes.
fast. So the Marriott went up, as well as non-host hotels. They all went up and got. I think those were. Now, I don't know if you've heard anything, Jenning, and I do wish Jen was here because she really does know a little bit more about this. She has her finger on the pulse about this stuff more than I do.
Mhm.
But I think they went pretty smoothly, from what I understand. But I don't know. There's always bumps, right?
I mean, I heard everybody still hates the what's it called, the pass key system.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is no love for passkey, and yeah, like somewhat like Sarah mentioned in the comments, even the overflows filled up quickly. But like we've said before, the Hunger Games is not the end all be all for rooms. You just have to be a little patient and a little kind, and usually something will pop up. You've got plenty of time.
Yes. Yeah. And the Westin is still the one that right now is still has yet to go on sale. And as we're recording this, the Westin is slated rooms. Those block of rooms is slated to go up on October 28th, the morning of the 28th. So good luck for those people who are still looking for their hotel rooms. And yeah, may the odds forever be in your favor. So I think I'm there too. Dare I ask, Jenny, do you have a room for next year already?
We do not have a room for next year. Still trying to hold out for the Hilton because logistically it's just the best option for me. So please keep me in your hotel thoughts and prayers, people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, we all we all need it. So I do not have a hotel yet as well. So
Mm.
but yeah. Our good friend Russ in the comments said they were not that smooth when they went up, I guess. So, so
I think it's time we need a DragonCon report RV that we just drive to DragonCon and we just get one of the big ones and we just stay there. Not only that, we can also broadcast from there. Yeah, DragonCon report RV. Let's make it happen.
all right. Let's see. We'll put Jen on that when she comes back. We'll see. It depends on how many patrons we have and how that's going for us.
Right.
Because
Yeah, that'll be the next patron level.
exactly. You can stay in the RV.
Right.
So, all right. And unless Channing, you got anything else, I think that's pretty much it for the news, right? Like that's
that's it for news. This is that rare DragonCon news downtime. So, although I'm sure someone's complaining about the lack of guests already.
Yeah. Well, speaking of guests, okay. Actually, someone in the comment line was like, "Hey, had no guest announcements. What's up with that?" So I will say what's up with that because guests attending pros and performers applications, those will open on December 15th, according to the website. So that's the date that you can start applying for DragonCon 2026. Attending artists can those applications open on December 1st. So those folks can apply a little bit earlier. But so if you want to get your applications in, you've got about a month and a half to prepare them before the link is live for applications for next year. So obviously we will not have any guest announcements until next year, because with the applications opening late, mid-December, they probably
Yeah.
won't make any announcements until January earliest.
Right.
So, and that looks like it's about all the news. So we're going to take a quick break. All those people who are watching us live, we're not taking a break for you guys. We're just taking a break for the audio and the recorded versions of this so we can hear from some fine folks on the ESO network. And then we'll be right back with our main topic. And I am going to try to bring everybody in just a few seconds. So, and then we will get ready to start the main topic. Yes, I know this is behind the scenes stuff.
This is your Patreon exclusive.
Okay. 3, 2. Howdy, everyone. Welcome back. And now we are ready to talk about all the cults. But first, we're going to bring in some fine folks that are here to join us. We have got Heather here, as well as Maggie and Joshua. Look at that. I brought everybody in. And you guys are still there.
You did.
Awesome. We are so happy that you guys could join us for this discussion. We will start with you, Heather. Howdy, first of all. Welcome to the show. And tell us a little bit about when you first went to DragonCon and your DragonCon experience.
So I first attended in 2010, and it was there to meet a single author who didn't do frequent signings, and this was one of the few that she had done in a long time. And so I was living in California, found out she was going to do it at kind of the last minute. Didn't know a thing about DragonCon, never heard about it, and found out about it like on a Friday and said, okay, this is next week, we're going. Hopped on a plane, landed at 6 a.m. on Friday, not a Thursday, and off we were. And I was standing in line outside the Sheraton, knew it was my home away from home, and it was the Sheraton then, not the Cortland, and have been here ever since.
Wow. Awesome.
Yep.
Love it.
That and I'm sorry, the first year you went was what?
2010, and I'll tell you, I got out of DragonCon, went online and found ESO and the DragonCon report, and everything was starting up brand new. Thank you, Mike and Mike.
Oh, well, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we have been doing this a while. So yeah, this is our 14th season. So
She was here when the ESO network was just a newsletter, when it was just
Yeah.
paper.
That's right. That's right. Well, very cool. Maggie, what about you? What was your first DragonCon experience?
I can tell you my first DragonCon experience. I cannot tell you the year. It is lost up in here. I just don't recall the year. I'm so bad at that. However, how apropos, because my first experience revolved heavily around ribbons. I was not yet part of the admin group that throws the events, but my boyfriend, now husband, had invited me so graciously along. And the first year we shared a room with all of his friends. Not the years after, but I went, and I was just taking everything in, right? I was there for the first time, looking at all the cosplays, learning about all the different tracks, trying to find my place in this world. And I had gone to I believe it was a panel for DragonCon newbies, and they had given a ribbon if you had asked a question that year. And I was like, ooh, like my little raccoon self was like, well, what is this shiny little piece of paper? And one of the roommates said, oh, you can collect those. People make ribbon beards and they see how long they can get them. It's such a fun activity, but it's not that big yet. And I was like, okay, great. So I went around and I just got to actually connect with people over their fandoms through the ribbons. And that was it for me. So it wasn't just that you got a big long ribbon beard. It's that I got to find out new ones. Go find sayings from ones I already knew and loved, talk to different people from all over the world at DragonCon. And so, yeah, that's what I did the entire time. And there was a contest at the time. There's not a contest any longer. And I thought, I know what I'm doing next year. And that was just kind of the start of my dragon sickness, if you will.
Yes. Well,
I like it.
Hopefully there's no cure for dragon sickness.
I hope not.
Because I've been suffering from it, for over 30 years. And I'm fine. I'm fine, actually. I can't imagine
I think
what it'd be like.
I think the only cure is bankruptcy, because then you can't afford to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dare say you're probably right.
Well, I
So
don't know. I mean, you got friends of friends of friends who'll totally let you crash in their bathtub. I mean, people make it happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That might not be enough, Channing. That might not be enough. But speaking of ribbons, we also have Joshua, who's got quite a number of ribbons on display right now on his person.
I do. Hello. Yeah, this is just a sampling of the ribbons that we had, I think, in 2022. This was essentially extras I'd put up. I decided I needed cosplay, so I went with the traditional Time Lord collar, but decided to go as the Ribbon Lord, and that's kind of people occasionally refer to me as that now.
Yeah, you're gonna get a cult within a cult, really.
Right.
Yes.
Josh is known for accidentally starting cults, by the way.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
Those are the best ones.
You just never know. Actually, that's true. Those are the best ones, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But Joshua, do you remember your first DragonCon?
I do. I can't quite remember the year. It was in the teens, the 20 teens. DragonCon had essentially been a bucket list for my wife and myself. It was, someday if we get a chance, we're going to go to DragonCon. So we just decided to go. We got an off-site hotel, and so we actually drove a couple miles in and parked every day. By the first day we got back to the hotel, we were in pain, wore out, and we looked at each other and said, "We're coming back every year." We loved some of the guests that we wanted to see. We got to meet some authors, and then started making friends, and we've got friendships that have lasted pretty much the entire time.
That's what it's all about, really. We always ask like what you love best about DragonCon, but so many the answers are so similar. It's the people that you meet, the friendships that you have, the connections that you make, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is our tribe. And everybody, I honestly feel like everybody who goes to DragonCon is a friend and even family, so
80,000 member strong family.
yeah, it gets bigger every year. It gets bigger every year, it's hard to shop for the 30 people. But so I want to get to the ribbons, and you guys are definitely on here to talk all about the ribbons. But I mean, if we go to, I think the beginning of the cults, because as long as there's been DragonCon, there hasn't been cults, as far as, not to the extent that we know them now, anyway. I do believe, and I did try to do a little bit of research, and please, somebody, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I do believe that the very first one was in reference to the Marriott carpet.
It's definitely the most the most famous cult. Yeah.
I wonder. I think
it may be one of the first.
Yeah,
I think Trashy might predate it. Yeah.
We think Trashy is first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
Trashy. I think Trashy predates the carpet. I know that much.
Okay. So looking at now the carpet is an interesting story in and of itself, because the carpet, I think, was torn out in 2015. And it's funny because I mean, the thing about the carpet is that for years I was out going there, like I said, since '94. Everybody hated the carpet. I mean, it was just, but the carpet was so recognizable. I mean, whenever people posted pictures online or had pictures of costumes online, you knew where those pictures were taken because the carpet, right? I mean, it was just so it became iconic, and it became definitely something that you could easily point out and say that's DragonCon because of that carpet. And so when the Marriott finally decided to replace the carpet, because after all that time, you need to especially with like so many thousands of people clomping over it just for DragonCon alone. So they replace the carpet, they get a new pattern. Of course, the pattern that they're going to select, nobody's going to like that either. And then the carpet just takes on a life of its own. It's really crazy how the carpet has sort of become, yes, a cult, the cult of the
Yes.
carpet. So much that the carpet is represented at the parade. And you see it all the time. I can remember for decades, I didn't, even think about the carpet. And then suddenly now I find myself just without even purchasing a bunch, thinking about it. I look around my office and I've got tons of stuff with a carpet on it, pattern on it, just because.
Knows aplenty. He got so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So,
Speaking of the parade, I want to tell you about the carpet. I went one year in an offshoot group, in the T-Rex group, which is now becoming its own cult, and they're going to potentially try to do a Guinness Book of World Record at some point. At least I hear through the grapevine. But I went as a carpet T-Rex because I wanted to join in the fun in the Marriott carpet group, and man, was it! It was like. Honestly, one of my best decisions ever about the con first parade experiences. Now I march obviously with the ribbons, but the carpet is chef's kiss.
Yes.
And Mike, I also want to throw out, I think it was a bit of kismet timing, because right before that, your screensaver here was our lovely camo carpet cosplayers. That happened right before they took out the carpet, right? So I think it was
that kickstarted it.
Yes, exactly. So if the carpet had stayed longer and the Marriott hadn't changed it, I still think it would become a cult on its own. And then the horror, they're getting rid of it. So I think that just escalated rapidly, and that's how it ballooned so quickly.
Yeah, I definitely think that the camo cosplayers did really do a lot for the carpet and cement it as a thing. And I don't know much about their story. I think they got some heat for it though, right? Because there was something about after they did the cosplay, there was some sort of like. They were like, I remember
the company said, "Hey, this is our design. You can't use it." More or less.
It was similar but legally distinct carpet design came after that.
Yeah.
There was some heat on them for a time,
which to me makes it even more of a cult. Like that even helps perpetuate the cult more if you've got actually like legitimate heat on something, right? Like you've got the authority saying, no to the little guy, and of course that's gonna make it even more of a grassroots campaign to keep it going.
Right.
Someone said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, exactly. So
because and everybody was saying it like that. It was like, hey, here's a legally distinct but still close pattern that's just take it and run wild with it. And
where's Waldo? Maybe we spot the difference.
Right. We use a shade different blue. Boom. That's all we need.
Now, someone did hear okay, so I'm going to try to do this. Okay, am I going to do it? All right. Yes. Okay. So we got a comment here. The beginning of the cults was the cult of Bacula. Now, I don't think that is a DragonCon exclusive cult. So, and to be honest with you, I don't know much about it. The commenter goes on to say that it expanded a few years before Trashy and the Carpet. So I don't know if that is like a DragonCon specific cult. But I do think that I just want to give it some props because I didn't, I wasn't even aware of that.
Nonetheless.
Yeah,
you have to say DragonCon specific. Come on now.
That's what I'm kind of like. I look. I've been to a lot of other conventions, huge conventions. I've been to San Diego. I've been to Chicago. I've been to New York. I've been to all the bigger conventions in the country and smaller ones too. And I can't think of another convention that I've gone to that has cults associated with it.
Not like we do.
But I do think that certain things are obviously belong to certain conventions, and then they sort of seep over. I was actually aware of. I mean, the ribbons are relatively, to me, a relatively new thing, But I do remember other conventions, smaller conventions. There's a Doctor Who convention in California called Gallifrey, and that was the first time I ever saw the ribbons in action, as far as at a convention.
I know
Right
they
there.
actually, and I know one year I was just talking with someone who was there. They actually make their badges sideways, so they're landscape rather than portrait. That way they can
You get a
have
longer
two
ribbon.
lanyard connections that to account for the weight of the ribbon.
Where is Sven
Oh,
when
wow.
you need him? Sven, do you hear us?
He's in the chat. I'm sure a light bulb just
Write
went
that
off.
down.
Gallifrey One does ribbons. I know Colossal Con, they do ribbons as well. But I've never, I have yet to see any other cons that have cults like DragonCon.
Gotcha.
Now,
Hey,
now,
Sam.
now,
Oh,
one thing I like about
an entire Wikipedia entry
on the Marriott carpet, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I know that there's been a lot of information out there, and I just posted a comment from Zan, our good friend Zan, who has some information about the Marriott carpet called and Trashy that is available for people to check out as well. So I wanted to make sure people were aware of that. But like after Trashy and the carpet, for me the next significant one was the FedEx guy.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cult of John.
Yeah.
And so does anybody know the story behind John?
I can't remember the year. Was it 2019, I think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Heather had her hands up, but yeah. It's got a good backstory.
Yeah.
Go for
So in the hallway between the food court and the Marriott, there is a kiosk for FedEx, and they had a standee, and it was John, and people just kind of, were laughing and whatnot. Googly eyes went up, lays went on it, beads went on it, all sorts of things. And then by the time Monday rolled around, you had a whole group of people with candles and doing the bow down business and whatever. Then, being who we are, we of course found out that the actor or model, I guess, I'm not sure which, who was the standee actually lives in the Atlanta area, and they contacted him, and it was a whole thing. And that's how we found out his name was John. And so that's how that kind of started. It's evolved into something completely different, but that's how it originally started, was in the hallway between the Marriott and the food court.
Now, wasn't there an effort to get him to attend DragonCon?
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
People didn't know who he was, and he was kind of a stock model or something.
Yep.
Right.
And so it wasn't like, oh, you could just contact his agent easily and find out who he is. And all of the wonderful geeky people of DragonCon, they were like, let me get on that.
Yep. They found his wife first, if I got it right.
Oh, geez.
So yeah.
I'm sure that was an awkward conversation.
Yep.
Well, I think that was another instance too, where by the second or third day, you could already tell it was getting out of hand with what was being done to the standee.
Yeah.
And FedEx was not happy about it, right? And so once again, we see like the powers that be like trying to like dissuade people from doing stuff, and that's just going to fuel the fire even more, right?
And people mourned his passing as well.
Yes.
I remember that my favorite part about the first year of John, Sunday night, I was walking past there. This was after the standee had vanished, and there was someone standing there essentially playing melancholy violin music while someone gave an overly emotional eulogy. I actually got video of it on my phone still somewhere.
Yep. I was like, are they doing it for that cardboard standing thing?
And I think it was someone in a Spider-Man costume as well.
Yes.
Look, when you're DragonCon, you go 100% on everything. It's a rule.
Absolutely.
And the cults, they spring up so organically. It's just like a few people decide to do something crazy or something funny, and everybody latches onto it.
And that's the funny thing is I think it's the organic ones that
Yes.
stick around. Like there have been several that have been kind of forced, and I don't think they don't go
Mhm.
as well.
I want to hear this hot button
Well-
topic. Like,
Well, so a few years ago, the Hyatt put in new carpet, the blue carpet that we have currently, and
Mhm.
they had put it in literally like the week before. So I arrived at con early, and they still had concrete. There was no carpet at all. So it was brand spanking new, and so with all of our walking, it created these little fuzz balls everywhere, and so people started collecting the fuzz balls. So that was the new cult, and I was like, is that really going to be the cult?
I have
think
two small
so.
bags of
Josh
them,
collected
courtesy
an
of
entire
Maggie
bag.
and several others.
Mhm.
Now-
Yeah, but I don't think it's continued on as
Right.
a
You don't want
fuzzy
a bag
cult
of
thing.
carpet fuzz, Heather? What? That
I
doesn't
haven't
sound
seen
like
as many.
fun to you.
I haven't seen any camo cosplayer fuzzballs, so I don't know. I
Of
could be
course.
missing out.
Of course,
Now-
we also
now
have
that-
the closed for cleaning cult.
I was
So
just
it-
about to
it-
bring that up. Yeah, but that
it's
was a
still-
very
it's still going, but
situational
it's-
cult. Yeah.
I think there's some people that still
Yeah.
still practice in that cult, but it's small. It's
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
app scientist cult.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it was a very situational cult, and it served its purpose. But I'm sure there are some people who you want to keep the lore, you want to keep it going, and for the next pandemic.
Yeah, the app scientist I feel like is really unique, and that it's a way for the people who work kind of behind the scenes at DragonCon to cross that bridge and interact with the attendees with their cute little messages and the little Easter eggs that they put in the app before it goes live. I absolutely love that cult. I was part of the beginning of it. I didn't found it. I don't want to purport that, but I definitely donned my I was gonna call it a science cape. Somebody help me.
Your lab coat.
It's not a science cape. It is a lab coat and my moose antlers and my it kind of was like a holy hand of or holy, I can't remember that. It's like a hand grenade on the back. I can't remember, but somebody helped me out with it. It was phenomenal the first year for sure.
That is that's amazing. I'm trying to think of other cults that might have sprung up in between sort of like before, like I don't think there are too many others before John and FedEx. But I do to your
blue
point,
postcard.
the blue postcard.
There was a blue postcard cult for a while. I don't know if
Registration
they're still in
card.
existence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that I have one hanging, a giant one from Sven in my room every year.
Mhm.
And one year they were giving out lanyards of them. They had printed out like 3D printed. So you could get like necklaces or lanyards, I'm not sure which, and earrings and all sorts of stuff before Sven was doing it, right? Like just individuals were doing random things for the blue postcards to say.
We have a cult for the Marriott carpet. We have a cult for the blue postcard. Can we safely say that we just can't give things up?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
We don't handle change
Same
well.
for the ribbon. Yeah, same for the ribbon. Yeah, we can't give things up. Yeah.
I feel it right now.
Now, as far as the ribbons goes, Zan also in the comments did point out that the DragonCon badges had ribbons on them, had like stripes on them, and ribbons in 2014, I guess, is where they indicated whether you were a celebrity guest, a vendor, volunteer, and so those ribbons were put on badges, and then of course they just sort of went from there as well, as far as other messages that you could attach to them. But yeah, that's been going on for, I don't know, you guys are definitely more familiar with that. As I mentioned earlier though, like it's really appropriate to me, Joshua, that you're wearing the sort of the Time Lord outfit there with ribbons, because like I said, I was first exposed to ribbons at Gallifrey 1, that show. I don't know if it exists at other cons, but I definitely regard it as a Doctor Who related thing. So that's why I think your costume there is really appropriate. But then they really start taking off at DragonCon. How early did you guys get involved with the ribbons at DragonCon?
I love telling this story, so I'm glad you asked. I want to say it was 2017. We had seen the Cult of the Carpet. We thought it was excellent, and so we decided we had this crazy idea. It's like, hey, why don't we print some ribbons of the Marriott carpet people may like them. People may want to, get them. We decided to print like 100. It was just a test run. And then I made the mistake of posting the pictures of it on social media. And we ended up coming to con in 2017 with over 2,000 of the carpet ribbons, and we came home with none.
I can believe that.
And at that point, it wasn't even, the Loyal Order hadn't been started or anything. It's just, let's have some fun, represent the carpet cult. And people, we realized that
cult.
people they love the idea of the ribbons. And I think it was later that year after con that we started up the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
And said, well, let's actually get together and have some fun with this.
Gotcha. Maggie, what about you? When did you get involved with the ribbons?
Oddly enough, it was kind of like bird's eye view, what I said earlier, but more specifically, it was that Marriott carpet ribbon. I wanted to find something unique. I had heard about it. I think Josh might have been out that year, but there was other Josh, stand-in Josh, who was so kind and was passing out the ribbons that he had gifted him. I found it. And like I said, my dragon sickness was born. And I just had to meet these wonderful people and go to these events. And the next year, I told my husband, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to win this contest. And I thought, oh, how am I going to do this? And it was kind of, I think I'm just going to do it. I think I'm going to try to win through like the spirit of giving and connecting with people instead of just asking repeatedly, can I have? Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print 2,000 ribbons and I'm just going to give them to everybody. Like literally everyone I see, you have a cool cosplay. Oh, look at that. It's this kid's like first DragonCon. Oh, you're drunk and passed out on the floor. You get a ribbon. Like it was just like the Oprah of ribbon. And, a very kind person that had come before me said, you can ribbon fish. You can just stick them over the edge of like a stairwell and somebody will just come and put some on the bottom. I said, ooh, what a novel idea. So I did that too. Ended up winning the competition that year and got to meet Josh and the rest of the admins and eventually just got brought into the fold there. And now I don't know how this happened. Like I just like blinked and I was like, oh, and now we just throw the ribbon events together.
Kevin posted a link to the brief history of the ribbon thing at cons. So as a whole, so there we go. That's a useful link. But that's really, I'm curious. So the contest was how many you can accumulate over the course of the weekend, or
we did in length.
We did. I think the longest beard. And then we also, I think we had a quote unquote grand prize winner. There was whoever had the most ribbons.
Okay.
But then also people who made like a ribbon shield or ribbon blanket. And then the second year we had people who showed up with carpet cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Wow, that's that is really getting more and more. And I'm curious. So as far as now, with the beard, the ribbon beards, and the length of the ribbon beards, did they have to be? I would assume they'd have to be different ribbons, right? Does someone have to like check that, right? And
we would go through. Well,
oh, I was going to say the contest doesn't exist anymore, but when the contest did exist, we just had a group of people who had like all the admins who had been involved in ribbons over the years who actually had kind of a library and you could just go and see. It was more like, are there duplicates? Really, we wanted to make sure that there weren't duplicates. But
some happen, but it's like make sure you're not like tacking on double the ribbons.
Right.
It's the spirit of friendly collecting.
Exactly. Gotcha. And so what we ended up doing actually is we just said RIP contest because we wanted to lean in more to just the spirit of community and everyone getting to show off their pursuits and unfurl their ribbon beard. So we've always invited the competitors and the winners to go to the Hyatt and drop their ribbons for our ribbon drop. It's become a kind of a thing of its own, and the entire lobby of the hobby just gets totally full, and everybody wants to see it. And we thought, what better way than to celebrate this than to open it up to everybody and just kind of do away with the contest. And the Hyatt has started working with us on that, and we've moved it over to the other side where we can accommodate more people, and it's bigger and better than ever, and best decision we ever made.
I have to ask, like, so what is the record for the longest beard, and like how many ribbons?
I think so far the highest floor we've done, what was it this year, Josh? 14, the 14th floor?
I think somebody was on the 14th floor this year. I know in 2024, I think our longest beard was 75 feet.
Whew.
That's crazy.
But yeah, we had
That's
people, we had
ridiculous.
marked, I think we had planned to have people as high as the 16th floor at the Hyatt, but we had someone up on the 14th.
Wow.
And then it can be to the total of like anywhere from like 600 to 800 ribbons. It can be quite a lot of ribbons.
That is
Because
amazing.
you're thinking about a little over an inch per ribbon.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
That
Yeah.
and 14 stories.
Mhm.
That
What-
is crazy. Like 14, and then they have to come and touch the ground of the lobby, I guess, right? Or
They
the
reinforce them on the back with like duct tape and gaffer's
Yeah.
tape because the weight is so heavy.
Yeah, they're
Wow.
serious about it.
Yeah, we tried to do our best to get people in groups to where all the ribbons would essentially hang about to the lobby floor.
Mhm.
But it's not an exact science.
Gotcha.
We have
Gotcha.
ribbon security now at the Hyatt. The Hyatt security team surrounds the ribbons when they drop, because if they fall, we have to collect them. They're so heavy and so big, the rolls where people are carrying them around. Some
Sure.
people have to carry them in backpacks. We had an amazing member of the community 3D print like this little spoolie thing that you attach a rubber band to, and it keeps your ribbons rolled up for you, so it doesn't just hang and drag on the ground. We've seen so many like truly interesting things. For instance, like a cosplayer came one year to the beginning of our events. We hold like an event almost every day. She had an empty hoop skirt, and she just came and showed up and was like, "Hey, do you guys want to help me build my cosplay at the events?" And people would come up and put them around the hoop skirt. And before end of DragonCon, she had an entire cosplay built at DragonCon by the community.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is amazing. That is
Crowdsourcing
amazing.
your cosplay. You love it.
It was truly
Well,
phenomenal.
it's impossible now to go to DragonCon and come out without like multiple ribbons.
Yeah.
Because they are everywhere now. And speaking as a person who is a vendor also, who sells, the books and promotes our podcast and everything, we have issued out and given away plenty of ribbons ourselves. I will say that from that perspective, looking at it from that side, it is kind of odd, and we had to be careful because over the last couple of years, it was really obvious to me that people would just grab the ribbons and not even really pay attention to what was on them.
That's always the case.
That's
That's
one
part
reason
of-
why we had to say great contest, because we were
Yeah.
trying to move away from that maybe sometimes not as great competitive spirit and more into the fun and the sharing and the connecting with people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like when I did my ribbons, I always made sure it was something somewhat obscure and that I would know what it was. And that if you understood, because I always had mine, then it was a conversation piece, right? And so, I mean, I'm super shy and I don't like talking to people or going up to people. And so, but if someone says something, I'd be like, oh yeah, you recognize my slightly obscure. So let's talk about it. Like I did an F1 ribbon because there's an F1 meetup every time there's a race on a Sunday in the Hyatt. And so I made ribbons for that one year. I do cycling as well. So I did one for the cycling events,
Mhm.
the road race. And so I always try and do something obscure to match that to meet people's passion, right? Because Mike, to your point, if people were just grabbing for no reason, didn't know what it was about, well, I want to share my passions with other people and I want to make them happy. And so how do you bring those
Yeah.
two together?
And they're good conversation starters too, because somebody's gonna ask, okay, where is this from? What is this? And I mean,
Yeah.
I found some cool fandoms and some anime I never knew about just because of somebody gave me a ribbon that I didn't quite
Exactly.
understand. Yeah. So no,
Exactly.
it
Right.
works out.
Great way to
Well,
discover those.
we talked about, like, when we talked about when we talk about cosplay, we always, like, we kind of bring up deep cut cosplay, because those are the ones that, like, are really, like, they hit you because someone's doing something that not everybody's going to get, but then when you do get it, like, there's that connection that's made because that person recognizes it, and then you are glad that someone recognized what you did, and it's just a wonderful thing that happens. And and the same thing is true with ribbons. A lot of people will do they'll, like Heather said, do something really obscure, something that they really care about, and they're hoping that somebody's going to get it. And then when they do find someone who gets it, it's like, boom, there's that connection that's made.
And you are
that,
going to find those people at DragonCon. They're there.
yeah,
Exactly.
with 80,000 people, yeah, that's
You're
a
gonna
pretty
find
good. Yeah, it's sometimes it's like might take a day or two.
And that's how, yeah. And that's how I got started with a complete stranger who's now a pretty good friend of mine. Is that in 2017, the key art that was the art that was put on the keys, she's my favorite artist of all time. And I was like, oh my gosh, they did 3 different versions. I've got one for my hotel. And so I posted in the group, does anybody have an extra that we could trade? And someone responded, and so we met together, and we both got to talking about how we're trying to get the others. And so from that, and from my passion for that artist, I was like, well, there's got to be other people like me, right? I'm not just by myself in this. And so that's how the collectibles exchange started, is that it was a group of people who wanted to share our passion for whatever. And so we kind of started it up from there, because we all have a passion. You have to find those ways to connect. Y'all have had the contest, but now you just do like the beer drop and the cosplay, and all the things. And so that's how this subgroup of us got together.
Heather, I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you about the keys this year. You know how they had the Halloween themed keys, but then so cute. I don't know if this is allowed. Another hotel wanted to get in on the keys,
Beyond
and
me.
they just made their own really cute key, and it kind of like
Yep.
got its way in there. And I tracked all the way over there. It's nowhere near the other host hotels, and found it. And it was definitely a very fun collectible experience. I loved it.
It was
I saw
it was a
those.
hike
They
to
were
get over there,
nice.
but well worth it.
Yeah.
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 And you know what? If you didn't get one, you can go into the collectibles exchange and say, hey, I'm willing to trade one of my extras of this. Does anybody have an Omni or the one of the set that they were missing of the DragonCon?
I have extras. I'm going to join.
Exactly. And that's what we do, right? Is every year somebody
I
has
did
something.
notice that there were various points at various hotels that when I was making my, way about things, I would go by and there would be tables of people, or there would be a table and people around the table, and there was a bunch of ribbons on the table, and everybody was just kind of picking through and trading and doing stuff with and I thought that was pretty cool. I hadn't seen
That
that
is very
before, I
cool.
don't think. So
Yeah, that's a lot of the swag and seek that people make up and either like hide in the planters, or they give out. There's a couple different meetups for that as well. And oftentimes you get swag that isn't your jam. I always make sure to give it back and re-hide it. But some people keep it and then go to a group type setting and say, here's all my extras that aren't my jam. Do
The
you want
swap.
it? Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You
And
can
then
definitely find at the Marriott there by Pulse, people will go ahead and especially on Monday, you'll see a lot of people laying out their leftovers.
Yeah.
There's
Because
With
they
fun
all
want
the
some
little
last minute
tables.
swag.
Yeah.
snacks, and I just definitely help myself
Yeah.
to that.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
can I have some chips? Absolutely. Becomes
Yep.
its own currency.
Hey, Mike, did somebody else pop up in our green room?
I was just about to say, we actually do have another person that's joining us now. So an extra special guest to join us in our discussion here on cults. And we want to welcome to the chat, Mira. Mira,
Hey.
I hope I'm pronouncing that okay.
Yeah, it's Mara. It's all right. How are you
Mary.
guys?
Okay.
Fine. And thank you for joining us. I sort of wanted to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your first experience at DragonCon. When was that?
Oh gosh, now come on. I'm gonna end up dating myself if I tell you that.
Hey,
No.
I mean, you're talking to a guy who's been going for over 30 years, so
Okay, so
I'm
you're
good.
farther back than I am. That's good. Yeah, no, my first experience was actually 1995. This
Okay.
past con was my 30th year. And so I've Lord, I think I've seen about every iteration of, cult and culture behavior that you can have at con.
Excellent, excellent.
Culture, that's
Now,
great.
now, can
And
you tell
It's
us a
been
little bit
fun.
about the United Church of DragonCon? I want to make sure I say the name right.
So it's the Unified Church of the Dragons, and
okay.
the co-founder there is Josh Thomas. Hi, Josh. Good to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
Um, we had a lot of fun with that one. So I think when we came up with the idea for the Unified Church of the Dragons, it was one of those situations. We had Cult of Marriott and a Marriott carpet, and FedEx John had just arrived and been there for a little while, but there was starting to be this kind of, are you Cult of John or are you Cult of Marriott? And it was okay. Well, why can't you be both? And so that's where the unified Cult of the Dragons came from. It's basically the overarching. We kind of unify all the cults underneath one pantheon.
All cults are welcome.
Exactly. Or,
Oh
for
wow.
lack of a better term, we can't really call it a pantheon. It really is more of a panthecon.
Gotcha. I gotcha. So it's a unify. Oh, I see. So the unification comes from or uniting all the cults, right? Well,
Correct. Yeah.
we've talked about the carpet, we've talked about John, we talked about the cult of the ribbons. We've mentioned a couple of others, trashy and whatnot. Are there
Close for cleaning.
Are there any cults that are maybe a little bit more obscure that that
Oh
you
Buchanan.
guys
gosh.
could think of?
Yes. Okay. So
Buchanan.
I am guilty of both founding cults that are considered obscure and apparently of being the focus of a cult that is exceptionally obscure. I think we have finally managed to get the official name of the Cult of Mara that somebody thought they were going to create and be funny about changed to the Cult of the Dancing Chickens. So let's make that official now.
Gotcha. The cult
Um,
okay, that's a new one for me. I'm not familiar with that one.
So that's a whole joke in and of itself. So there is the cult of the app scientists, right? All praise the data. And so the cult of the app scientists came about because we just got to the point of having too many drinking games surrounding the app. So we decided to form a cult on it. You've got some lesser known cults, I should say, but not lesser cults by any stretch of the imagination. That would be the cult of the blue-haired lobster thoughts.
What?
I forgot
Yep.
about those.
What is
Yep.
that?
The cult of the DragonCon cult of the crazy cat ladies. There are many
Okay.
of us. Um, you have there are so many cults. There's the DragonCon Deadpools, which most people don't realize is a cult, but actually was one of the first ones, right? You've also got the T-Rexes. There are so many cults at DragonCon. I have been building a website now for almost 3 years to organize all of the history of the cults. And because of that, one of the track directors thought it would be very funny and got together with an author that also loves to, make lots of puns to create a cult of Mara because of the fact that I was organizing a website based on all the cults. And so I happen to also be a chicken farmer. And so I said from the beginning, if you're going to make a cult based around me, it can't be based around me. It has to be based around the chickens. And that became an online joke. And then that year, we had a whole group of people dressed up as chickens dancing in the Marriott. So they really took it to the next level. So now it has to officially be the cult of the dancing chickens. It cannot be the cult of Mara.
Now, what do you know about the cult of Chad?
I love the cult of Chad. Actually,
Bless your
so
souls.
yes, so the cult of Chad and the lesser known cult of Cardbordius Rex, I believe his name was.
The
Um,
chaotic neutral?
yes, exactly. Came from DragonCon 2020. That was when DragonCon went virtual. And a bunch of us were watching the DragonCon content and just chatting in the Discord server. And this amazing episode that was a D&D campaign run by Mears. I always forget Mark Mears, with Colin Mockery and a few other really amazing guests, came on and had a just really cool D&D session, with lots of chaos. And Colin Mockery, of course, was playing a cleric to the god Chad, who was the god of comfortable footwear, which is now the comfortable footwear of DragonCon.
Have we
So, yeah,
forgotten about a new cult? The
Blessed
cult
be
of
the souls of issues.
misconnection?
which one? Oh, the Cult of
cult
Misconnections.
of
Yes.
misconnections. It's
So that one
good.
started. Yeah, that one started just prior to 2024. I think it really got big in 2024, but it started as a bunch of people asking, if someone knew of someone else that they had met in an elevator in 2023 in the DragonCon official group. And somebody made the initial post, and then several other people came through and were like, yeah, we saw this really neat person, and like, hey, I had drinks with you at the Marriott bar, you were wearing this, I was wearing this. And suddenly there was a DragonCon Misconnections group, and then it really got big in 2024. In fact, I think people are actually seeking misconnections so they could join the cult.
And I think it was one of those, kind of like
Yeah.
Mike said earlier, there was pushback because remember, people would be in the comments, this is not a dating app. This
Not a dating
forum
site.
isn't a
It's not
dating app.
I think that was on the
Yeah.
DragonCon Facebook page. It
Yeah.
was written that said this is not a dating.
Yeah,
website.
yeah, and so I think that helped get the cult going too, which I just think is
Oh,
just
absolutely.
hilarious. Yeah,
I mean, there have been a few cults that have been not organic. The one that comes to mind the most quickly is, of course, the cult of potatoes, because someone really, really tried with the potatoes. Cults are great because of the fact that they really do form, no pun intended, but pun also, organically. They happen just out of things that happen at con or in the Facebook groups and the Discord channels. It's just things that we all happen to share as a part of the culture that is DragonCon, which is why when we call it DragonCon cults, it's not really cults, it's culture, right? And so cult is short for culture, not a religious movement, which is one of the reasons why we all think it's so funny when the street preacher starts screaming at us about being in cults, and we're like, yes, it's all a culture. Anyway, that's why the Deadpools are so great, because they will grab anyone and drag them in and say, one of us, just like the rest of us do, right?
Yes.
But we do strongly recommend that anybody seeking to create a cult wait for the opportune moment of something actually happening organically.
Yeah, I mean, and I would imagine that even we've talked about the pushback that we've seen from some organizations about some of the things like the carpet, the use of the carpet, as well as the FedEx stuff. But also, I think I know that there's been instances out there where companies have tried to generate their own thing and make their thing like something, but it just doesn't click
Stop
either.
trying to fetch
People are pretty
habits.
savvy about that, right?
Yeah, the Hyatt did that with their new carpet.
yep, we talked about that one earlier. Yeah,
I love
I was
that
gonna say,
concept.
it might have actually gotten its own following. It's not a terrible carpet, but they didn't need to put signs up everywhere.
Some of us are starting to lean into it, though. It's growing on me.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Well,
mean-
if they take it away, Billy, then you'll hear about it.
Oh
right?
yeah, there'll be
Yes.
definitely be a cult when they take it away.
Oh,
several years from
absolutely.
now.
Especially,
We'll have earned
know,
this place.
there's a rumor that they went around asking what everybody's favorite color was, and the overwhelming response at DragonCon was blue. So
yeah. Now, did any of you participate in or even see the Cults of DragonCon cosplay competition?
I've not had a
goodness.
chance.
No,
I
I
did-
have
did
not
you-
done that.
Oh, you went?
Did
I've
you
been
really just
close.
ask?
I had to check and see. I had to check and see. You
I
said
was
you
the
went,
Marriott
Maggie?
I've
Mhm.
been in the past, so
Okay.
I mean, I love it. I think it's a great event. People get super creative. I've seen the Cult of John really show out at that event several times, and they
Yeah.
do also end up in the parade as well. So their outfits are every bit as detailed and extravagant as the Marriott cult as
Yeah.
well. And there's all types of offshoot things in there, and just tons of creativity, just overflowing.
See,
I
I'm just
must-
wondering. I'm just wondering if he's baiting me because he knows I was in it.
Oh no, I didn't. I
Do it.
didn't. No, tell me more, please.
So it's kind of a long-standing joke at this point. Josh has judged it, and I was supposed to judge and ended up not being able to. And Josh and I both also co-founded the Marriott Carpet Marching Band. And so this is the first year that I was able to convince a certain track director not to schedule me on Saturday morning so that I could actually be back in the parade with the marching band. So I made a Marriott Carpet Marching Band drum major. And because I was the drum major for the marching band, and did that in the parade. And so I took it to the Marriott Carpet to the Cults of Con costume contest Saturday night. It's a great contest. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It
the
is.
photos look great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How popular was the Spartan Marriott carpet guy?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Well, I think the three most popular carpet groups, in my opinion, are the Spartans, the Marriott Carpet Spartan, obviously Carpet Pool, and the Sailor Moon Carpet group
Ooh, yeah.
is pretty amazing.
Sailors are a hell of it.
They're a blast, and they're all different ones. They had a Renaissance. Or was it Renaissance? I think it was Renaissance. That was the Hyatt carpet too. It was the first time I've seen the Hyatt carpet used in costumes was this year, and it was beautiful. They did a gorgeous job. I think it's on DragonCon TV. You should go back and watch it.
So that's an official DragonCon event then. That's
Yes.
happening. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's sponsored by the costuming track, and it happens Saturdays. They are one of the few costume contests that does registration on site. So they usually, I believe, registration opens 5:30 at the Sheraton on Saturday. And then you go down, you register. There's not really any prejudging. You can go and wander around, and then you come back. And then when you go on stage, instead of having to worry about, all the wonderful other details you do in the other costume contests at DragonCon, where you have to explain your construction and everything else, or come up with a skit or whatever on stage, you just walk on stage and have fun, and they toss up numbers. It's great. It's like a figure skating event.
and I think that's the beauty of it too, because a lot of the things that we've talked about, these are not things that DragonCon officially is implementing or trying to do. Like, these are just coming from the attendees. These are just based on things that happen at the con. These are just and people reacting to those things, mostly in a humorous and fun and way, right? And so DragonCon has very little control over them, really, which makes it really fun too.
Well, I think they've finally started to embrace it. I think in the beginning they didn't care for it quite so much. I think they thought maybe people were making fun of their convention with it or whatever. I don't think they really got it. But now I think they've really started to embrace it, and they realize just how special and unique it is.
But I actually want to pose a counterpoint to that. I don't think it's that DragonCon isn't getting it. I think it's that it takes a while for all of us to get whichever piece of one. Like, what? Okay.
It's an acquired taste. It's a thing. Yeah, I get that.
I mean, because I totally get into some, like, and then others I'm like, what are you smoking?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't get it. So I think it's this. So I think it's just an evolution that we're all, finding the one that hits us and our niches, and so those strike a chord, and we get it, we understand it, we are all in. Others don't really hit us. So like if you're not a Sailor Moon or an anime thing, you're like, what? I guess that's a carpet thing. I don't get it. But so everybody is gonna have their things that make sense and click easier. And I think that DragonCon is the same too, right? They're so focused on putting on a good show and making sure they're taking care of 85,000 people to the best of their ability that the cults just aren't a thing. And then they're like, huh, okay, I've got to focus over here more. And then they're like, oh, okay, if it's bringing joy to our event and to our 85,000 people that come every year, 2 thumbs up, baby. But let them do it. I got to focus over here on other things. So
the Ribbons didn't have a home until DragonCon really gave us a home. So they worked with
exactly.
We essentially got adopted by the art show.
Yeah, exactly. So they're definitely leaning hard into the Colts now. I definitely think so.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I cried the year that you guys got it because I was so happy that you guys were able to get into the art show and do everything. But I was so sad to lose Josh from the marching band.
Yeah.
Howard.
That is another thing that I do really like about the Colts. Even like they all support each other. There is no kind of rivalry or anything. Not that you would expect there to be such a fun thing, but the Colts really all support each other. You know, it's kind of like you said, when one of them succeeds, the other ones also kind of feel like they succeed. And
they're
again,
all fan driven, and we've got the best. We have the best fans.
Yes,
absolutely do.
And feeding into that is, I think, long before the carpet was a thing, there was the cult of John Portman, but it was a smaller thing. And it was the people who understood who John Portman was, how much he has impacted our lives, because he designed the Westin, he designed America's Mart, he designed the Marriott, and he designed the Hyatt. So hello, right? So there was that little nerd group, if you will, of people who are into architecture and knew that history. And then here comes the carpet. Well, that still plays into the architecture of the building, and so they feed into each other and around. And then there is a new one that's going to come up, and so it all plays deliciously wonderful together.
Portman Con.
All praise the poop lions, man. Just don't put googly eyes on them.
Exactly. That was this year too, right?
No, that was 3 or 4 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Cult responsibly.
Yes, cult responsibly. No potatoes where people can break their legs.
Yeah, if you're back to, kick one back every time a new cult is mentioned.
Oh dear Lord.
Tally, there's so many.
I was going to say, do we have a tally of, how many there are at this point, or is it just
bajillions and bajillions and trillions? Because they vary, right? And
well, I believe the official count, according to what I have so far for the website, is 28. But I believe that's missing. Yeah, I believe that's missing 2 or 3 from 2024 that I don't have information on yet. I just have names. And I do not have the new cults from 2025 on that list yet. I know who they are. I just haven't gotten everything plugged in.
Wow. So I know you also. Oh, go ahead.
I was just giving her props. I got to give the woman her flowers. She is just the person for the job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, when I tracked her down, I'm like, we need you on the show.
I'm so sorry to be late too. We had a windstorm and I lost power. That's why I'm sitting here in the dark with anyway.
Now I do have to ask, because I know we're probably gonna have to wrap up soon. We all agree the best cults are the ones that start organically. There's no debate there.
Absolutely.
In your mind, do you see a missing opportunity for a cult at DragonCon? Is there just something there you're just like, I wonder why nobody's jumped on this yet?
Yes, but I'm not starting another one.
Oh no, I don't mean start. I'm just curious.
We will speak it into existence.
No, that's the problem. You don't understand. If I'm involved and I say it, it will become a cult. So I'm not giving it. I'm not giving it breath. Someone else is going to have to find it.
Oh,
so it's up to you guys. Go find it.
Yes, exactly.
I think we've all. Yeah, well, there's room for because they pop up all the time. I do have to give a special shout out. I know we've mentioned him a couple times, but Sven at Drunken Dragon Hotel, he's the guy that, like, when he comes out with stuff, I'm like, oh, that's how I find out about cults, because he really is got his finger on the pulse as well, and usually creates great, wonderful products that support all the cults as well. And I'm pretty sure, I know he's he's petitioning to get a cult himself for the Drunken Dragon
You
Hotel.
remember
I'm
when
pretty sure Drunken Dragon is a
A cult.
cult. And I
yeah,
say this
probably.
because even if they didn't have all the merch of all the cults, every cult has a drinking game. So therefore, they are all Drunken Dragon cults.
Accurate.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, even the collectibles group, Sven, I love you. If you're listening, I need to borrow your attention. Your 2020 keys became a thing, and that's the only key. One of the keys, the only key I'm missing is one of yours.
Yeah.
And all the collecting, but they've, Sven's even popped up into there, and in the collectibles group, it's primarily DragonCon official things. But since 2020 was
Mhm.
virtual, we allowed an exception for 2020. And the Drunken Dragon keys are a part of the official collection.
Heather,
That's
is this
awesome.
a misconnection? You have most of the keys.
He's
has
here.
The one you
He's
need.
always here.
Sven is watching.
He's always watching.
Yep.
Dragon Hotel.
Yep, I am missing one key, and
I'm
it
missing
is the
2
Sven
keys
key.
from this year, and that's it.
You should join the collectibles exchange,
I'm
and we
in
can
the
see about getting
collectibles
them.
exchange. I don't
Uh-oh.
have
See,
them
then
yet.
we could see.
That's all right.
So,
We could see about getting you.
Heather, let me ask you real quick. Is so the collectibles aspect that's sort of different than the cult aspect of it, right? Like it's
I
No,
mean,
it's its own
is,
cult.
and it is,
it's
and
its
it
own
isn't.
cult. The cult of collectibles.
There's
Or is that?
Yeah, I mean,
It kind of falls under the swag cult. Like there's the swag and seek side of the swag cult, and there's the collectible side of the swag cult. You know,
and
it's
they're
all kind of an
actually
overarch.
different. They're actually completely different.
Oh, she's like,
Ah,
no, man.
educate me. I need to know for the
100%.
website.
Yeah. So let us know the
100% different.
difference there.
The collectibles exchange does nothing to do with swag, nothing, zero. It is
Okay.
all about programs, badges, keys, official merch from DragonCon or their affiliates. So like the Hard Rock does the pins. So they are officially licensed by DragonCon. So it is a true DragonCon has approved this. So there are a few offshoots that aren't produced by DragonCon, but it's the keys, the programs, the badges, the progress reports, back in the day, the pocket programs, anything that you get from DragonCon lanyards.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
I didn't
DragonCon
realize you guys
official.
had started a group around that. I thought it was. Is this not the hotel key swap?
It is.
group?
It is. And
that's where it
and all it
started,
is
He's
is
incorporated.
yeah.
It's affiliated merchandise or associated with DragonCon
Correct.
directly.
I need to go check more out. I haven't looked at it in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Need to
primarily
introduce her.
the biggest focus is the keys because they're easy to ship, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
when we have our meetups, we often do the programs and things like that because a lot of people are local and so it's easier than shipping. But the opportunities are for everybody. Like I've done trades this year that were specifically for pins. I'll give you
That's
2
awesome.
keys, you give me 2 pins, or I'll give you,
What about the
a pin
program?
and you give me a program, whatever you're missing. And so we have people who collect everything, right? That is in that realm. I can't speak to the swag. And that's
Right.
why I said, Sven and the Drunken Dragon are kind of an offshoot of we don't really go there because it's not official. But for the 2020s, we made the exception because there wasn't, keys and programs and things like that. So the 2020 is the exception to the rule. But everything that's officially DragonCon is us. Swag is
more
different.
because it's so unique and
Yeah.
just that one little bubble in time.
Yes, exactly.
I can't get in, like I said, I've been going there for, since 94 and I have all my stuff still. I mean, I can't let any of that stuff go. Like, I just can't like, so I have the programs, the pocket guides, the badges, the lanyards, everything from every year that I've gone. Yeah, that's just some special stuff.
Do you ever take a walk down memory lane and just go through it, and it just like kind of spurs all these memories of the years past? I love.
Yeah, because I can't tell. Like, if you had like a lot of you guys telling me, like, when I was asked you about your first experiences, you were like, I don't remember the year or whatever. They just kind of blend to me. Like, I can't tell you what year was what, but I can. Yeah. But if I look at a program, I'm like, oh, look at all the guests that were here that year, or the stuff that happened that, and sometimes all I have to do is look at the badge and the artwork on the badge, and boom, I'm right there.
Yeah, and what's funny, Mike, is you got to be careful because some of those items were used as promos for the next year, and
Yes, it's
so
true.
they'll say
Ooh.
DragonCon 1989. Really, that was the 1988 T-shirt
Mhm.
Yep.
promoting 1989. So
1999. Yep.
exactly. So you got to be kind of cautious, right? Because I've been going through all of the merch since day one, and
See, I have that problem
it's
because everybody kept asking me, like, when did you start coming and all that fun stuff. My first Dragon Con shirt said 1996. So for years, I told everybody I started in 96. When we moved to the farm, I found a box of my stuff from the 90s that I hadn't touched in forever, including the Gwar stuff that led me to
Mhm.
my first Dragon Con, for those who remember
Mhm.
Gwar performing.
Yep.
I
Yep.
do.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm a local Virginian. I follow my heavy metal band. But it wasn't until I found that box and found the badge that was in it that I realized my first Dragon Con was 95.
Mm.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
Heather, I have to ask, who does the exchange rates in your group? You know, how do you decide that 3 pins is worth 1 key? Who's doing the
That's
math behind that?
that's up to everybody's individual preferences, right? Some people, because if it's a really common key, but it is your last one, or a really common program, but it's your last one, and for whatever reason you don't have it, you might be willing to cough up 5 things for that one because it finishes that check off on your collection. Versus other people are like, yeah, I'll give you 4 of them. And a very one of the admins in our group, he was having trouble getting his trades happening because he only had one of everything. And so I was like, here, this one year I had a ton of extra of something, and I was like, here, I'm just going to give you, like 10 of them to get you started, because it's not a monetary thing. You can go to
No,
eBay and
just
do
for
all your
fun.
monetary thing, right? So this
Yeah.
is about community, kind of where Maggie was going with the ribbons, is helping to share your love of something. And so it's
Yes.
really about fostering relationships, growing other people with you to help them, they'll help you. And it's a really good community. You have always will have a bad actor here or there, but generally speaking, it's, hey, Channing, you need this. Hey, I know someone who has an extra. Let me see if I can get the 2 of you to chat so that you
Yeah.
can get what you need and they can get what they need and everybody's happy.
Mhm. It's almost like you're helping out with a missed connection.
See?
But it's like a merge. See, again, it all
Yep.
comes back around. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they
Exactly.
should just give it its own space in the app so that way, like, we can all collect data on what these things went for. And then we have a, whole economic system we can set up around it. And then we've got our own Dragon Con currency.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh my
Dragon
goodness, the
coin.
Dragon Con currency. That's, I mean, who knows what they've got planned.
Welcome
there
to
is-
the sociology of Dragon Con.
But there actually is DragonCon currency
That's
for very specific things. So
Mhm.
it's not, it's just a fun thing that's out there.
Yep. The Dragon coins are able to be won in the math parade and most costume contests.
Yep, exactly. So
always intend the pun. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it, Channing. All right. So as we wrap up, and thank you guys for the great discussion. I just wanted to get your sort of last thoughts, but also ask you a question in order to wrap that up, because I think, Mary, you said some really great things about cult stands for culture and why we have cults and what they mean to us and everything like that. So as we sort of piece out here, I just want to go to each one of you. What is it about the cults? Like when someone comes up to you and says, I don't understand DragonCon and the cults thing. What is going on with that, and why is it so important to DragonCon, and why is it so important to you? And I will start with you, Mira, since you joined us last. So,
Well, honestly, it's about inclusivity. It's about being a part of the community, being a part of the family. Because DragonCon, this anybody that's ever met me and asked me what in the heck is DragonCon, why do you do this every year? They've all heard the same thing. Look, it's 100,000 of your closest friends and family members you just haven't met yet. And that's what the cults are. You're into Marvel. Well, guess what? You got a ton of people that are into Marvel. You love niche authors that only write in specific types of military science fiction, guess what? There's a niche for that. Like, there is nothing that you are into that you cannot find at DragonCon, and that's what the cults are. It's culture. It's bringing all of those different groups together under one umbrella and saying, whatever it is, you belong here. And for a kid that grew up not belonging anywhere, and I know there's a lot of us that went through, horrific bullying and things like that when we were kids that grew out of it. And, you know,
Hmm.
these were our escapes, right? Our comic books, our books, our movies, our art. These were our escape then. And now as adults, finding other people that have those similar experiences and those similar loves and can
Hmm.
understand where our basis comes from, for the enjoyment of it, and also engage in that, it just helps drive the community.
Well said. Well said. Joshua, what about you?
Yeah.
What does it mean for
That's a
you?
tough act to follow.
Right.
Sorry.
Honestly, the ribbons have always been about joy. It's celebrating fandoms, various things that you love. Because we've had like memorial ribbons as well. Just celebrating nerdy gras,
Yeah.
celebrating the nerd culture that we all love. And again,
Nerdy Gras is actually a different convention, though. Also
but
in
it's
Atlanta,
about
different convention.
it's again the connections with people.
Well said. Maggie? I think you're muted. I think I can't hear
We've
you.
lost your
Yeah, we
audio.
can't hear you.
No, still
No.
can't hear you, Maggie. I'm sorry. What's going on? Oh no.
Okay, this is where we need the sign language interpreter.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? I don't know what happened with that. I didn't mute her. Let's see. Let me try. And
Technology for the win.
Yes,
There.
yes,
I'm
yes.
trying to read her lips. It's not working.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Maggie, you
Nope.
can't say that on the air.
Oh, I
See,
am so
here's a
sorry.
great opportunity for. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Technical difficulties. Heather, what about you? We'll go to.
For me, it's all about family, right? Like we all were born into whatever iteration of a family, how everybody's are different. But everybody was, given that at birth, whatever it may be. But this is something we got to choose. And while we might have a royal or a battle royale over Star Wars versus Star Trek, 20 minutes into that conversation, you might find that absolutely hands down, Firefly is the best, right? Whatever that who you're fighting with, might be your best friend because now you both have this mad passionate love for Firefly. Great. And you go into a room and you aren't really sure who you're sitting next to in line. You're like, oh, what's this about? But you say something, and they're like, oh, let me tell you all about it. And you come home with a list of things that you need to check out. And you get to feel the love and the passion that all of these people have. And when they are able to represent it, whether it be their cosplay, their ribbons, their collectibles, their carpet, whatever, you feel that passion and that love, and it's humbling that you get to be part of it every year. And so I always want to be able to give back and share my passion with somebody else, in my way.
So say we all.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely. Channing, any last words from you on the cult?
I can't follow anything that everybody's already said. I mean, again, you know me, I'm all about inclusivity at DragonCon, and DragonCon is one big convention of nerddom, 80,000 of us all together. And it's great that everybody can break off into their little separate things, but still all be able to come together and appreciate the whole. And just like I said before, even the little small groups also find ways to support each other. And that is a perfect example. I mean, look, this is the most fun you can have in a cult where you get to keep all your clothes on. And I think that really says a lot So yeah, hey.
Yep. Now there is an unknown cult where you don't keep clothes on, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm like, I don't know what we're starting here,
Can,
but
can you
No,
can you DM
it
me later as
started
for a
way.
friend?
Yeah, it was all
Asking for a
long
friend.
ago when the grass. Look, you got a moment for the Lorax? Long ago when the grass was still green. Back before, the Bunny Hutch became an actual event at con, and it was still a pre-party. There was a cult that began over DragonCon After Dark.
yeah, DragonCon After Dark. I remember those days.
Okay,
Yep.
We might have
That
to
cult
save
still
that for
exists.
we might have
we'll save that for
have to
Patreon.
devote an extra like special
Maggie's back.
You heard my laugh.
red band episode on the history of DragonCon After Dark. But as it is,
You can get Maggie now. She can talk.
Don't make me say something after all of that.
No, I was afraid you were going to pull a
Well,
Maggie Simpson where they couldn't hear you.
Can I just
I
say
know, right?
agree?
well said. And all I want to say is, Ju, that it's just a beautiful thing that happens when you have a convention that at its core lives up to its moniker of it's for the fans, it's by the fans, it's made up of the fans. Like that's the structure of DragonCon allows for these things to happen.
Yes.
And I love it so much because of that. So and so yeah, and this will not be the final discussion that we have on the cults, believe me, because they will be continuing, as so will we. So, but for now, we're going to draw a close to this episode of the DragonCon Report. Real quick, I'm going to point to Maggie first. Where do you want? Do you have anything to promote?
Actually, I just want to say that we had an amazing group of volunteers this year at our ribbon events, and we loved them the most. I would say that we put on the events, but I really think it was them this year. They were our VIPs, and we can't wait to see some repeat and return of volunteers for our events. And if you want to join our Facebook group, the Loyal Order of the Ribbon, the link was provided here in the episode at some point. We'd love to see you there and tell you all about our volunteer opportunities.
Awesome. Joshua, what about you?
As one of several cult leaders, I would like to say, definitely go check out the cults, because so many of them are little niche things, but they're so much fun. There's the ribbons, there's the carpet, there's anywhere you look, you'll find something that's cultish. And
Awesome.
It's all of us having fun.
Absolutely. Mira, anything you want to promote? People to go to?
Actually, the Marriott Carpet Marching Band is recruiting. We are looking for more people to play instruments and twirl flags and do fun stuff in the parade next year. You can hunt us down on just about any Facebook group. Just say, hey, I'm looking for the marching band. Someone will grab you. We have a very, very big group of people grabbing people. Also, we have a Discord server. So if you pop up in the DragonCon Discord, if you're not in the Facebook channel, we can get you a link in Discord also to join us. Otherwise, you can find me at Mara Rose 931 on TikTok. Or I do host a podcast with Brian Patrick, which discusses fandom and costuming stuff, which is called Defying Conventionalism. You can find us on YouTube.
Awesome. We'll try to have show notes for all that stuff in our show notes. Links to all those, because I can't figure out how to put them on the display here.
Great.
And Heather, what about you? Anything you want to promote?
Just if you ever want, to finish your key collection, your program collection, your badge collection, if you want to see what's out there, we do have, a collection of all of the archives of what items have been put out by DragonCon. There are opportunities for growth there as well, to add new things as they come about. This year for the 40th, we're going to be putting out a weekly blurb about all the artists that contributed to the artwork that we love for the programs, for the t-shirts, for et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to be doing that weekly leading up to 40 weeks before DragonCon. So be on the lookout for that.
That is
Wait,
awesome.
we aren't
And that's
40
a lot of
weeks
work.
before DragonCon now?
Oh, God.
We're getting there.
Wait, what?
November. It's November. We got a couple weeks left. Couple weeks.
Yeah, we're getting there. Oh man.
The year goes by fast.
So thank you guys so much for joining us. Really fun discussion. We appreciate you guys so much. And thank you
That's
for
great.
Channing. Appreciate you as well. Where can people find you and everything that you're doing online?
Oh boy, I am into a little bit of everything, but you can follow me online. I'm just at Channing Sherman on most platforms now. You can also follow my group, the Black Geeks of DragonCon. We're promoting our diversity at DragonCon, and like I always tell people, it is not a protest, it is a party. So come join it.
Party on.
I will
Awesome.
also be starting the cult of Muted Maggie.
The cult of the podcast mime.
Ah.
There we go.
Another
There we go.
opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We couldn't do this episode and not start a cult. So at least
So-
one. Like, you know.
Do you want to hear about the cult that nobody knows about that started at Cults of Con?
I wish we had time for that, but we are
Save
just
it.
wrapping up. So anyway, I wanted to give a shout out to and thank you, Jen, for all your magic that you normally do, because man, I am trying to do it all and it is tough. So I appreciate you. Hope you feel better. And of course, you can check out Jen at DragonCon Parties, Meetups, and More group that is still active even without DragonCon being active. We try to cover all we can with these episodes, but to keep up with the latest news, please check out the official DragonCon website, all their social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Discord. All the fan tracks are active on Facebook, and they are active now. So you can still keep the DragonCon spirit going all year long by just being active on the groups and connecting with the various tracks. We are a proud member of the ESO Network. On the esonetwork.com page, there's a direct link to our TeePublic store filled with all kinds of cool swag, including a cool design for our logo at the DragonCon Report. We also have a Patreon page. Thank you, patrons, for all your support. Whether you're watching or listening to us, please help support our show with a like, subscribe, and a share. If you'd like to leave us direct feedback or comment on the show, please email us at feedback@dragonconreport.com or reach out to us via Facebook and Instagram. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. I'm your host, Mike Gordon, and as always, it has been my pleasure. Take care, stay safe, and we will see you for the next episode.
Pageant wave.
Pageant wave. And I completely lost track of my
Beyonce?
my mouse just died, so now this show won't end.
We're still going.
This is the show that
Wrist-
never ends.
Wrist hurting. Nerves burning.
So I am trying to
Come on, folks.
end the show,
Yeah.
and I can't.
Let your
Let's
This is
body
just
terrible. The show is officially over, but I can't stop the feed yet. So
Wait. Can we do like this stairs?
Jen is dying now. Jen is dying.
I know if she's watching this, she is completely like, yes, of course.
No one stand up and show that we're only wearing underwear.
I know,
Oh,
right?
yeah. And slide away
requirement?
slowly.
This is bonus material.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm sorry to have to So Mira, if you want to mention that story now, you can.
Sure, I can do that. Okay, so
While you find the stop button.
bonus material. Okay, so at Cults of Con this year, backstage after we'd all done check-in, we're sitting there and one of the volunteers was, talking, and all of a sudden, which, the it's not the Sheridan anymore, it's the Concord Grand. Sorry. You've noticed they're doing some renovations and stuff. All of a sudden the lights went out in the room. And she literally went, clap, clap, let there be light. And the lights came back on.
Whoa.
And so there is now the cult of the light of the Concord Grand. But it's little known because there were only 10 of us in the room.
There's a few more people in the room now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
have
know
now
if it
brought
has
you
to
all
be-
into the room.
Is there a restriction on how many people that have to be in a cult for it to be an official cult?
I really don't think so. I think once you have something that, all of you connect with, and you can say we all shared this experience, we all had this in common. I think that in and of itself is enough to make it an official cult. I mean, look at the cult of Eska and later. How many people never set foot in the Hilton? Never. And still love the cult of Eska and later. I mean, there were a couple that did the costumes of it, and they were like, we had to actually Google it because we'd never been into the Hilton when they were there. It's like,
What about the swimming pool? What was it, the Hilton Swimming Club?
Oh no.
yes.
When the
Don't call
yeah,
it.
I don't know.
the
about either.
basement started flooding. Couple
That
floors
said, there
up
are
and a couple basement.
Did I lose everybody?
there are a couple. Yeah, that's the cult of the Hilton flood, isn't it? Same cult.
Yep.
Yeah. So and there are several aquatic cults at DragonCon. Don't forget about the DragonCon MERS. The mermaids.
And then there's the waterfalls at the Westin from when they're
Waterfalls at the Westin. Yep.
Oh yeah.
I love how we just come up with all the little things, not even specifically, the cults. I remember when the speaker caught fire at the Cortland Grand, and somebody had cosplay of the speaker on fire
The
within
next
an
day.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was ridiculous.
Yep. The cult of
It's
It's
just-
Too Soon
Amazing.
was also created at that time. I think it has 20 members. Or no, it's not. It's Too Soon. It's Is It Too Soon? It was the cult of Is It Too Soon? That's what it is.
Yes.
Yes.
And the answer is no.
No.
And
The answer is at
Never too
DragonCon.
soon.
There has only ever been one thing that I would say it was too soon, and that was, of course, the very distasteful cosplay that shall not ever be named.
There've been a couple of those, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why I can say it
Yeah.
once, and everybody goes, "Oh, it might be that one. It might be that one. It might be that one."
Yeah,
All of those are the ones that were too soon.
That is the one. Yes, exactly.
It
How
is
you
the
doing
one
there,
that's-
Mike, have you tried unplugging it and plugging it in again?
Turn it off and on again.
All right. Oh, can you
This
hear
is
us?
about to be the cult of electricity,
he-
man. Like
I
I didn't
think
have
we may
enough
be live without
electricity to
him.
get on. He doesn't have enough electricity to get off. Like
Right. The cult of technical difficulties.
the cult of technical difficulties.
Our laptops and just check them out the window.
I'm gonna send him a message in chat and see if he picks it up.
Cult of technical difficulties. That's what it
Yes.
is. Thanks,
That's
Shannon.
the one.
There you go. I love it. Okay. All right. So now, Josh, are you registering the domain name for this one, or do I need to?
Oh,
You can do it.
It's Channing's. It's Channing's one. Channing's got to do it.
I don't know if I have the skills. I don't know. I feel like you guys need a pro for this.
I mean, I
The
have
cult
the
of the-
skills.
Someone in the group chat just put the cult of the longest podcast and the dead mouse.
Nice.
This is the show that never ends. Anyway,
God bless you, friend.
I want to know. I still want the answers to the question: what is the con going to do for its midlife crisis?
Yeah,
I
I'm curious.
we already know what the con's going to do for its midlife crisis. That's a whole other story.
No, I still say it's